seen just previously was our good sheriff. I was following our sheriff on this road that goes out of Defiance called Dahmersville Road. It's a heavily traveled area, heavily watched for speeders, anyone breaking the law, by the sheriffs and sometimes state police, because Ayersville School is on that road, right? And so during select hours, speed limit's a little bit lower. As you can see in that, I was following him and he started pulling away from me. I wasn't even that close behind him. He started pulling away from me more and more, and I was already doing between 60 and 63. I was doing about 63 maybe. And he was pulling away from me. That's our good sheriff there, right? But they'll be glad. Anyone that's from this area knows you go speeding down that road, they'll be glad to pull you over and give you a ticket in no time at all for 1 mile over the speed limit. Brought to you by our good and honest Douglas Engel. So we had to cut over, we had to jump in the vehicle. Whiskey and I had to take a drive out here middle of nowhere to go check on this job that a friend keeps bugging me about. I've turned it down a couple of times. They're practically begging me to take it. Fixing trucks. And came over to check it out. I said, fine, I'll come see what exactly they're like. Oh, if you could just get this one truck on the road for us, I'll come check it out, right? It's not really what I want to do, but I guess I'll check it out. Maybe make a few bucks to get that truck going for you. Of course, we go check it out. That's where we're leaving from right now. And damn this thing. First of all, it's more than halfway on the way to dispensaries, right? Like the wind's blowing enough you can smell it from here, but you ain't got enough money to go get it. That sucks. I mean, I'm not completely out, right? Still sucks. Especially when all I got is the crap. But anyways, so it's worse than I figured it would be. And there's people that argue with me on this and don't understand it, but you know, I struggle with it. First of all, I'm on doing everything I can to keep my focus on the YouTube and my music. Right? And as you can tell, videos ain't getting thrown out there as often. We were on our way up, and you know, now we're snagged up. We haven't been putting the videos out as much. I got stuff I'm working on to try to get this first album finished. 2 songs I'm working on finishing, and then when those are done, the first full album will be complete. But you know, we're so this is just one example. Start bugging me about this. Is what happens when you bug somebody. I understand you got a need or whatever, but nobody wants to take the job. Nobody wants the damn job. You're offering me more than anyone's offering me right now. And on one hand, I feel dumb for not jumping at it. But on the other hand, I put on my boot today, the first time in how long? And already from this amount of time of wearing it, walking around through your shop, now my foot's, I can feel it, right? And I've been working hard on getting my foot healed up. Never had an issue until all this bullshit started. But anyways, is it worth it? Not to me, right? Because, okay, now I'm looking at, there's some good deals right now here locally. Some real good deals to be had on some bikes. They're older, whatever, but that's me. I can take something old, broke down, fix it up, make it beautiful. Well, when it comes to these, right, stuff like that with the bikes, that's usually how I do it. So that's all right with me. The deals are good enough. They're rideable enough, you know, whatever. I can deal with that. You know, it's a lot better than, you know, the other way around is otherwise you find something when it's beautiful and it destroys you, right? It breaks you. I'd rather find something broken and make it beautiful. But anyway, so I start looking at that stuff. There's stuff I need to invest in for my music equipment, record, you know, right? To make it, get it going a little bit better. Maybe invest in some advertising. That's, otherwise you're not going to get nowhere. But so I start looking at that and I'm like, well, I could do this for a while, make a few bucks, and then, but that's, and people are like, yeah, that's what you ought to do. But the thing is, that's where you get caught up. That's where you get caught in the trap. Okay, start making that money. Then I need this. Then I need that. You know, right now I'm suffering through it. Right, I don't want to. You get me out of this spot, there's no way I'm gonna go back to it, right? Willingly. So that's the thing. I'll take that job and be stuck in it, and it's definitely something I don't want. Right? I don't believe that God, my purpose is to do that. Right? I just don't believe that. That's to help one person keep their business going. That's nothing to change the world, to bring nobody to God. It's not glorifying God, so whatever. That's just where I'm at with that, but that's just one thing. And then now I get bugged about something else we'll talk about, I guess. So we'll talk about the hard, lonely road of faith, right? It's hard. And you got the people out there, most of the Christians out there want to tell you the good news of accepting Jesus Christ. And there is good news, 100%, right? You're going to save your soul, right? But otherwise, you know, they make you feel like, oh, you know what? Whatever your problem is, you pray to God, and you know what? Maybe you could win the lottery. Pray to win the lottery. Pray for this. Pray for better test scores. Pray for that, right? Let's be clear about this. That is what is the term for that? That is also known as the prosperity stuff, right? Look here, God doesn't care one bit if you're rich or poor, if you win the lottery, you're praying for stuff like that, He don't care. Now, is it a chance something might happen and you're gonna think He answered your prayers? Yep, you're darn right. And I know so many people that this kind of stuff happens to, right? I'm struggling through it in all my videos. I'm telling people, you know, keep the faith and all this and that. People telling me, don't quit, don't give up, right? I'm doing my best, but it's hard. And the devil hears all your prayers. A lot of times, God's not interested in some of them prayers for several reasons. One, you're praying for something out of His will, right? Two, He cares about your soul. You need to be praying for whatever's in His will, right? Now, a lot of times, you'll be praying and praying and praying until you finally get it and are within His will. But let's be clear about something. You cannot be praying for anything at all and be having sin in your life and expect that God's going to answer your prayers. There'll be people that tell you, oh, he ain't answered you yet. Well, it's all about God's timing. It's all about God's timing, or this or that. They come up with all of these reasonings, right? Well, it's like this. If you got any amount of sin in your life, I don't care what you're praying for, God's not interested in answering those prayers as long as you have sin anywhere else, right? And people don't understand that. However, the devil is also listening to your prayers, and he'll be glad to interfere or make false things happen, and make things happen that, oh yeah, you're praying for this and that, not understanding that it's actually what you're doing is against God's will, or you'll stay stuck in your sins. So I'll go ahead and make this or that happen. Who's the God of this world? The devil, right? So, so I got these other struggles that just, some of these things just make me stop, right? Just really mess with me. Because, we'll get into this. Let's, Mom, go ahead and hit the like button and get out of here and watch something else. Thank you. Please. Right? So let's talk about some stuff. I've been really pushing hard to stay within the will of God, right? To get out all the sins, all this and that, right? Now, I got temptations just like everybody else, right? Several things are tempting me. Do this and do that, right? And at the same time, while all that's going down, I'm getting hit from this angle or that angle, getting knocked down, right? Like other examples I've talked about. My brother pulling stuff on me when I'm trying to get off the ground with my music. What the state's done to me, and they still refuse to give everything back to me. The sheriff, all that. Just all these things, right? Temptations to get my own justice, right? And I don't, whatever. But there's, let's be clear about something else. I did not take a vow of celibacy, okay? Let's be clear about that. Although I take serious God's word and how he expects us to be, right? So it causes an issue, right? Can't be just out giving it out everywhere. And I'm big on this, that, if you watch the way women are these days, it makes you sick. They certainly don't respect themselves, but neither do the men, and we've never been taught that, right? Men, you should be respecting yourselves too. You shouldn't be giving it out anywhere either. That should be treated as it's something special too, right? And you should be acting like it is, using it like it is, right? Not giving it out just wherever, disrespecting yourself and all that, right? The same. It is what it is, right? But somehow God must take delight in this, and now I have priests coming to me for confession, right? Because you can say, no, I'm not perfect or whatever, but find my sin in me right now, here lately, go ahead, point it out. I'll be glad to listen. And that's not me saying I'm better or anything else like that. It's just me saying some facts. I've taken this serious, trying to root out all these sins, right? To keep from falling into sins. Taking God's word serious, because the times are here. And they're controlling our minds they're using this Charlie Kirk thing to control our shit, right? trying to push us into civil war, which I keep warning people about. All these different things going on. The signs are here. And I'm too old to think I'm going to keep repeating the same mistakes I see all the people in my generation making. And like, what? No, I want to make sure from here on out, I'm trying to get into heaven, right? Not like Trump. No, I'm not going to end a war, and because now millions of people aren't dying, now I'm going to get into heaven. That's not how that works. Okay? First and foremost is to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. What does accept Him mean? Walk this way, talk this way, right? Said that before and before and again, right? And I'll say it again. That's what Jesus came here to do. Walk this way, talk this way. Here's the law, the Bible, what the Old Testament, right? And I'm here to walk it out, right? Exactly what it is, and that's the way it's supposed to be. We faced every temptation, whatever. So I get temptations thrown my way. Now I've turned them down, right? Certain, I guess you want to say, sexual temptations, right? And I've turned it down and several times. A part of me, I guess, when you start to understand love, how it's supposed to be, how we're supposed to do it, how God wants it, so that becomes an issue, right? And there's a certain person I've turned down a couple of times. Not that I really necessarily wanted to, but we got to be on the same page, one thing, right? She tells me, but I'm honest with her. I ain't talked to her in a while, but she tried a couple of times, different times, right? We're hanging out, and I'm honest with her. Oh, I appreciate your honesty, and this is what happens to all the women. They always appreciate your honesty. They haven't met nobody willing to be so honest as you, but yet somehow, right? You just don't get it. You don't see that. She could have probably won me over, but don't understand how to, whatever. But so I turned, whatever. Turn it down. Didn't necessarily want to. Didn't necessarily have a reason to, right? It's not like, really, I'll be betraying anyone. I don't got no one, right? She wasn't with nobody. There would be, technically, in general, in the eyes of everyone, no one's doing anything wrong, right? Well, it is, because now it's bonding my soul with someone else's demons that I may not accept, right? But I've been doing a good job turning that down. It's been a long time, right? It's funny, I hear women will say, oh, you talk to them, right? Because they're interested, none of them ever want to be honest and say, I just want to, want you to rock me tonight, and that's all I really want. And that is, most of them that I meet, that's what they don't. But then, you got to learn from past, right? That you do that, and now it don't matter that that's all they wanted. They're going to be hooked. Right? Now they want that, and they don't want no one else to have it. Right? Whatever. But, so it's a struggle for me, because there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And I'm not interested in anyone playing games and lying to me about they love me. So, use it for what it's worth, right? I guess. I should. But anyways, so now the real test comes. I'm already, bam, knocked down from stuff. Just all these different things happen at once. And my birthday approaches. And, of course, this other female starts talking to me for a few weeks, right? That I knew for years ago. I knew her. And there was some interest there, but it never went. I went a different way, right? And she starts contacting me, having conversations with me, whatever. And I can tell she's, right? Next thing, she starts sending me pictures that I'm not even asking for. Nice, right? Now I'm tempted, right? And my birthday approaches. Pretty much everyone forgot, and I don't really care, right? No one has to make there are the very few people you want to remember, right? But for the rest of it, you know, there's like 3 people that remember. Her being one of them. Wants to meet up with me on my birthday, right? Blah, blah, blah. And I got these issues, and I can't pinpoint what it is. But something inside me, one of the things I pray about is that God will give me proper discernment, and that speak to me to keep me from sinning, right? Stuff like that. And so we meet, we're sitting here talking, and she's pointing out, well, I kind of feel like you're trying to turn me down, all this and that. And I was like, look, and that's where it started clicked. I think you're married, aren't you? Because I remember, like, because I knew who she was. She was like kind of a friend of mine, right? And several years back, I think I remember she got married. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it wasn't your name, something else, right? Shit like that. Well, she admits it. She's married, and I'm like, no. First of all, this is a struggle for me anyways, to just go along with it and act like it's just okay just for it to be that way, right? But I can be convinced, especially right now, right? I've held out for way too fucking long, right? And she gives this excuse, oh, well, it's been so long for me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, every one of you women say, oh, it's been so long, right? And I'm like, when I say it's been so long, it's been a long time, right? On one hand, I give myself a pat on the back because it's like, way to go. And on the other hand, it's like, no, I don't, whatever. I'm just as bad as everybody else, right? Same urges as everybody else, same needs. And but I'm like, no, that's no deal. And she starts giving me these down and out excuses. And maybe it's legit, maybe it's not. But I'm like, well, do you got a permission slip? And I said that, you got a permission slip I could see, signed and notarized? You want me to come and shake his hand and he can, tell me that he can't do it, so he won't, right? Because otherwise, no way, right? I don't care what. And the problem is, I've seen this time and time again, we'll give ourselves excuses. And I'm not gonna lie, there was a part of me that was gonna ignore that. Something was eating away at me because I'm like, I know what she's going for today, and today's the day it could happen. Not today, right? The other day. And then like I said, I don't think my birthday should be all way special or whatever, but it is. Like, everything's been down and out for me for so fucking long. I'm like, yeah, why don't I just celebrate a little bit, right? But no, I couldn't do it. Thank God, right? I don't want that weight on me. I don't want that sin on me. And it don't matter what we do to make it sound okay. God is gonna know. Like, yeah, we could pull this off and no one's gonna know, right? No one's paying attention to me, watching me, ain't no reason, right? No one knows, right? No, we're not gonna. And and then she contacts me after I left, right? After we were done meeting, we met in public, right? I do that shit because I'm like, don't give you a chance to make a move I can't resist, right? Because she's very attractive, I don't understand it, right? Me at this point where I'm at the moment. But then maybe she's one of those that's smart enough, latch onto this guy right now, because if he makes it somewhere, there's a big difference, right? Just like the other female I was talking to a few times, and she could almost, right? But she told me once when I was honest with her, I said, look, I'm just not over this stuff. So I can't, because some reason I still feel like I'd be betraying. And the problem is I just be betraying myself is the thing, right? And she goes, oh, well, did you ever talk to her about it? Maybe you should contact her and let her know how you're still feeling. And I'm like, well, but I have principle. I'm in this situation because of principle, right? The principle is, no, you were in the wrong. You should be, it's up to you to say I was wrong you know, I turn from it, and, you know, otherwise it don't matter. Yeah, I could jump and take, maybe not anymore, right? But for a while there, I could jump, take a job, an amazing job to hurry up and get myself back. But that's some reason I didn't do that. Because why? Now all of a sudden you want me again because I, you know, for what you see I'm worth. No, you're gonna take me for me, right? I'm getting off track there a little bit. But I'm like, so it's the principle about it. So no, I'll just suffer through this way and keep turning it down when I don't want to, right? But at the same time, I don't care. I ain't messing with no married woman. But here's what gets me. Especially now, because I'm like, I know what it's like to be that guy. Maybe you're saying a legit story, maybe you're not. Whatever it is, you're sneaking around behind your husband's back, and it ain't gonna be me. I'm not gonna be that guy, right? Because, okay, the other chick I was talking about that I've met up with a few times, that because she was wanting to date me or whatever, so anyways, she knows another guy who, who has an opinion about me. Them two are talking, and she says something about me, right? And he proceeds to say how shitty I am, right? Going on repeating stuff that supposedly happened between me and my ex, right? Hold on there.
Ah, sí, hola. Quisiera comprar algunas cosas. Eso es, ve por ello. Sí, por favor. No, hombre, esto. Sí.
I mean, but the truth is,
no olvides darle a me gusta y suscribirte. Dile a tu tío. Gracias, gracias, que tengas un buen día.
I could easily just picked up those two methods. Mixed it up like, oh shit, that's fucked up. All right, so she, you know, so they're talking whatever. It's not like all the details matter. I don't know their whole conversation, but he proceeds to, you know, say some shit about me, and then said, and she goes, no, he's a good guy. That's probably not how that happened. And he goes, well, you know, of course he's gonna say something like that. You know, goes on to cut me down, like I'm hiding shit in my story and all this and that. And I'm like, ain't that nice, motherfucker? Because, like I said, I know what it likes to be the other guy on the wrong end of the cheating, right? Because, look here, asshole, brother, right? This dude who thinks he's a biker, right? But wouldn't dare face me because I knock his teeth out if I ever freaking meet him face to face. That's just the truth. I don't care, right? Because he's got it coming. Because he don't care that while he's telling her all this, acting like, because why? Because he was messing around with her at this time, at the time that the conversation happened, right? So he's standing up for her, like she's some, right? But then he found out the hard way, some shit. I don't know, whatever the whole story. But the thing is, look here, dude, you were the guy that was messaging her behind my back, right? You were the guy making her think, oh, it's going to be all okay, making her think the grass was greener, right? Knowing she was with me. You weren't as much of a man as me to turn it down. In fact, you played it and instigated it and made it worse. But then got enough nerve to tell some other female behind my back, oh, well, you know, that guy's a real asshole and all this and that. Yeah, you were there during the whole story, asshole. You know it, right? You know the story, right? Kept your mouth shut because you didn't care, because you wanted to stick your dick in her while I was being arrested and everything else. You didn't care that that's the kind of shit that your games caused, instigated, right? Anyways, and I'm like, this is how it is. Now the chick has contacted me several times now since. I'm like, you're not only did I say, no, I can't do this because you're married, I made myself clear on it. Now you're practically begging me to do that. And is that how it is? I'm like, is that how it went down for me in almost every one of my relationships? Right? Was it the chick instigating it, starting it behind my back? And then even if the guy was good enough to say no, she wasn't going to accept no for an answer because she just absolutely had to do that? I mean, whatever. I don't want to be that guy, right? Maybe I'm a step up from in some ways, from the guy, I'm not trying to say I am, right? From her current husband, whatever the issue is. You know, but I know this much from past experience. It don't matter, right? It don't matter how good you are, what you do, how much better looking you are, how much more money you got, how much, when they're ready to do it, when they cause the problem and destroy everything, so and decide it's time to cheat, they will mess around with some of the ugliest, most disgusting assholes out there. Right? I don't know. I just thought I'd share that. This is the hard, lonely road of faith. And I'm still waiting, but God's still saying, you know what? You still got, we're going to make sure, right? You know, it's hard to continue to tell people when I know people who are sinning all the time and getting away with their stuff, and their lives seem to be going all right. And mine seems to be getting worse, and I keep making the hard decisions. And it's not to brag myself up or anything. This is a said and done with already, and right now, a couple days in the past, right? And it's just the point of this is how, and we have to make the choice. So I'm going to make that choice to do what's right. And it's not just on that level, right? I could say, okay, I could have, you know, like so many people do, and we pretend we don't, right? I could have, when I first started to get that urge, that nudge in me that, hey, something ain't right here, this ain't feeling right, let's figure, you know, I could have just kept quiet about that to myself, ignored it, and by, you know, technically I didn't know, then I could play it off with my own self. Technically, I don't know you're married, you're not going to admit it, or just throw it out there, you know, so whatever, right? And pretend I have a clean conscience, but I wouldn't be able to. It's still a sin no matter what. It's still not right no matter what. It's still hurting somebody I don't know that didn't deserve it, didn't do nothing to me, right? And where would it take them? I don't know. I know where shit has taken me from this kind of instance, right? But this is the world around us. And then, but I struggle even harder than that because I'm turning it down even on issues that even a lot of Christians would say, well, that's not, you'd be all right doing that. That's not really a sin. You know, on, you know, a couple other ones that keep hitting on me, making it clear their intentions, they're not taken as far as I know, right? And they're, you know, it's all, but it's a matter of me keeping control of me, right? Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Whiskey and I appreciate it very much. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep all of his commandments, for that is the whole duty of man. For God will bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.